I know what it meant to me to be able to say it out loud and
Mm,
to sort of unload it. And, I know that that was critical in my healing,
yes,
to
yes.
be able to say it and to be able to maybe have another woman somewhere hear my voice and hear my story and say, "Wow, I thought I was all alone in this."
Yeah.
You're listening to the Spiritual Shit Show podcast with Suzanne Soul, episode 67. Hello, you gorgeous delights, and welcome to the Spiritual Shit Show podcast, where we get into the wild and wacky adventure the healing and spiritual awakening journey can be. I'm your host, Suzanne Soul, comedian, lifelong spiritual student, and I'm sharing some of the good shit I've learned along my journey that has helped me and that I hope helps you too. We're talking about women. We're talking about empowering women. We're talking about women in leadership because you know we need it in this world. And we're talking about healing through stories. And we're talking about lifting each other up because holla! Welcome back for part 2 of a powerful 4-part series where we are talking about empowering women, healing through stories, and sharing how women can rise together into leadership, that is, with my guest, Lisa Jimenez, the founder of SheIsMe Global, a worldwide women's movement creating spaces to celebrate and support women as they grow, connect, and step into that leadership. In part 2, we talk about Lisa's vision behind SheIsMe Global, creating new tables for women. We talk about the SheIsMe conference, the power of women gathering, and why women telling our stories out loud to each other is powerful and can change the frickin' world. Lisa was inspired to create SheIsMe Global after surviving the painful experience of domestic violence. So, trigger warning, this episode includes discussion of domestic violence. Please take care of yourself while listening. All right, let's get back into it, huh?
So, but,
Yeah.
we become enablers. We watch
Yeah.
the enablement, and we become
Yeah.
enablers when we
Yeah. Because it's scary to think of a different life. And I also just kind of want a presence, Um, it is so understandable that uh, seeing your mother like that obviously was incredibly heartbreaking, but being a person who's also being subjected to that and was subjected to that, it also must have felt crazy making,
well,
right? To see,
yes,
it feels like, I mean, are you still doing this? Is this still happening?
yeah.
It's
And, of course, I was told a lie about what happened, and I knew exactly as soon as I saw it, I knew exactly what happened. But, yeah, I was told that she fell, and I remember looking at her. I mean, the woman was 80 years old, and I remember looking at her hands and her knees because she had shorts on, and I was like, "You didn't fall." Like, if you
yeah,
80-year-old woman had fallen, she'd be covered in bruises, her
yeah,
hands, her probably broken something, right?
yeah,
And so I just was like, "I cannot believe this is happening," and, off I went because
yeah.
I had gotten to the point where I I when you live through it and you live through it in your childhood and then you live through it as an adult and you have been that enabler yourself up for realizing that you were an enabler and why didn't I say something? And in fact, it was a woman who spoke at one of the conferences who reached out to me, and she said that she didn't have a company or a product. She didn't have anything like that. She just wanted to talk about the secrets that we keep. And she told
Mm,
a story about how her
huge.
father had a second family
Oh my gosh.
and all the lies that he told to them as she was growing up. And, he was cruel and all these other things. And then she found out after he died all the stuff about him. Wasn't until she came on the conference that I realized or started thinking about the secrets that we keep and the secrets that I've kept. Whether it be the home I grew up in or the home I married into and the enablement and even enabling, like, my ex-husband's family, right? They knew. I mean, I heard all
Oh,
kinds
yeah.
of stories about him being
Oh,
violent and terrible to his brother and
yeah,
other family members,
yeah.
um,
The
and
family always knows.
they know.
They
And
know.
then when everything happened and I called his mom and said, "Hey, this happened and he's in jail," she never even asked me if I was okay.
Yes.
Just wanted to know, "Where is he?" Nah,
Yep.
and then she never talked to me again
Yeah.
until she would call and wanna find out for him because he wouldn't wanna call and find out anything. So he
Yeah.
would have her call and find out, and I
Yeah.
just stopped answering the phone, and the
Yes.
kids stopped answering the phone, and they
Well,
were
that's
just like,
good.
"Yeah, we know what's going on here."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Eh,
the families are the biggest offenders, right? They
yeah.
cover up, especially moms
Yep.
cover
Oh, yeah.
up.
The mom's always the biggest enabler of an abusive man.
Yep,
Sorry, ladies, but yeah. And, like I said, I appreciate that you needed to make that choice regarding your parents literally for your mental health.
absolutely,
I
absolutely.
mean, that is understandable. 100%.
Yeah,
Yes. It's like you can't
and,
change people.
was it
Yeah, you can't.
it wasn't easy, but
Yeah, of
I
course.
just I couldn't watch it anymore. Couldn't watch
Yeah.
it. I couldn't participate.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
couldn't be in
Yeah.
that anymore. I remember my mom saying something to me, um, when I was going to reconcile at one point, like, "Oh, he's terrible and everything." And I looked at her and I said, "Yeah, like, you have room to talk.
Yeah.
Like, don't be a hypocrite. You cannot
Yeah.
tell me not to do something when you're doing the exact same."
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
Teach 'em
we
right
all
from
have our past and we all have our
yes.
lessons we need to learn. And
Yes.
sometimes it's not easy. But
No. Yeah.
but from that,
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Look what you have created, and that no mud, no lotus, and I'm not saying, obviously, that that's like that's the mud to
I know that,
obviously,
yeah,
that
no,
was
that's not the key. Yeah.
horrifying, but, look what incredible things you are creating from having gone in being in that shit
Yeah.
show.
That was a shit show for sure.
Absolutely. And so from that experience and that caused you said to want to create an environment for women to be able to share their stories. Yeah, and when I got there, it felt like it kind of had expanded a little bit where there were workshops and people are sharing tips and
Yeah.
lessons on learning and growing and business and art and
Right. Yeah. So it has expanded. And again, when we started, it was just, 25 to 30 women, and we were all just sort of telling our stories because we needed a place to sort of unload it. Um, and our format for the conference is really to tell your story, tell about your aha moments, tell how you're thriving now
yes.
after that whatever it was, and then how you
Yes.
help other women. Right.
Yes.
So that's sort of the requirement. Like, how do
Yeah,
you
yeah.
help women? And it could be through your business or counseling or, whatever it is that that you do. So that's sort of the format for the conference. But we have lots of other things now that She Is Me does. So, but the conference is coming up. Can I plug it?
You can, but I think this probably will happen after your conference. I'm
Okay.
so, so sorry. I have some backup people who
So
I have scheduled to air, but you can talk about the May 2026 because that will still be happening.
yes. Okay. So one of the things that we do now is we really, having been through the last 10 years in this country and seen what has sort of happened, we know that women need to step up more into leadership, right? We know
Yes.
that we
Amen.
need more women leaders, not only in government but in business and all of the structures and the systems that exist right now exist for men by men, to benefit men.
Yes.
And so what we're doing at She Is Me now is training new leaders in the world. And we have leadership courses, we have retreats,
Incredible.
we have a She Is Me Speaks event, which is very much like TEDx, but it's not only the stage, but it's workshops and it's vendors as well. So we're kind of giving as many women opportunity as possible and to create the biggest impact as possible in one
Yes.
event. And so
And and is that, like, something specific special that you're doing, or is that gonna be an ongoing She Is Me Speaks?
yeah, that's an ongoing thing. So we have quite a few scheduled in different cities around the country,
Amazing.
and we're also launching in Australia in March.
Oh my gosh.
So we've got a
Incredible.
big Speaks event in Melbourne and
Wow.
Street in April. So we'll be doing that, and then some other things coming up that a little too early to talk about,
Okay.
but those things are coming up. And then May 2026 is our She Is Me at Sea event, which
Yes.
is a leadership event. We've got 30 plus women leaders who are already doing it, already changing the world.
Yes.
There and you are going to be joining us
Woohoo!
on the ship
Can't wait.
sailing from Los Angeles to Vancouver, and it's May 2nd through 6th. And our gala is going to be on board as well, which you're going to help me MC. That
Yes.
is our She Is Me annual awards gala. So if you know any woman who's deserving of recognition, you can go to sheismeatsea.com/awards and see what we've got. Nominate anyone you'd like, and we'd love to honor them. We're all going to be together for 4 days, and on the ship, it's going to be amazing. We do stop in Victoria,
Oh my gosh. Oh my
Vancouver
gosh.
Island. I know it's going to be so
I
much.
have a friend there, so I'll have to see
Oh,
if
great.
she's yeah, yeah, yeah. So, but it's gonna be workshops and speakers and all that kind of thing for the whole 4 days?
It's going to
Amazing.
be, yeah, we're going to have so many speakers, some incredible workshops. We have self defense workshops.
Mm.
We have get your money straight workshops. We have all kinds of things, but the basic theme is leadership, like how to bring what you're doing back to your community and become that leader, with whether it's within your virtual community or your local community, and how to bring all those skills, and we're really talking about what are those leadership skills that are lacking right now, and how do we bring those out, and then how do we build new systems that benefit us, right? And we often talk about a seat at the table or glass ceilings or whatever, and that those words, I'm just so sick of using them, but
Yeah.
really, we want to build new tables. We want to
Yes.
build, we don't want, why should we have a ceiling, right? We
Right,
should
yeah.
to, to rise as high as we want to. And
I love that
um,
so much.
yeah. And, I mean, when you think about it, it's just not too long ago, we couldn't even get a credit card in our name or buy a house, right?
I mean, why? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Why? And so now, I mean, how can we create new ways to fund our businesses and new ways for healthcare? Like, how can we change the way things look for us as women so that the leaders who come after us don't have to, like, we want to change it. We want them to come in and sort of take over. We don't want them to have to work so hard, right?
Yes.
So
Incredible.
yeah, I'm really excited.
Oh my god, it's, like, so, so needed.
Yes.
And if you don't mind me asking, I would love to find out, like, how like, what was the first iteration of the She Is Me? You said you just called some friends
Yeah,
and
I did. I just called some friends and said,
and you were
"Hey,
like,
I want to do this conference. I want to tell my story. I want other women. I want to create a safe platform for women to tell their stories." And that's what we did. Again, I think it was 3 days, and we just I just got people into, a studio like this, and we let them tell their stories, and that was the very first conference, was just
And
us.
that was, like, public, like, streaming
It was streaming, yeah, it was
yeah.
streaming on our YouTube channel, and we do that all the time anyway, but yeah, it was just a quick, get together, and let's do this, let's tell our stories.
And
And
what inspired you? You were like, "I wanna create a community. I wanna create a platform."
it was more about, yeah, it was more about creating a platform or a conference, right? Where I could bring women from all over the world to get together and tell their stories, just so that mm, initially it was just, I know what it meant to me to be able to say it out loud and
Mm,
to sort of unload it. And I know that that was critical in my healing,
yes,
to
yes.
be able to say it and to be able to maybe have another woman somewhere hear my voice and hear my story and say, wow, I thought I was all alone in this.
Yeah,
I thought no one had ever experienced what I experienced.
yeah.
Because you feel so isolated,
Well,
right?
that's what I was gonna say, I think you're hitting the nail on the head. One of the biggest reasons I think people hesitate to really break free if they're in a violent, abusive relationship is they feel I have no one. I'm all alone. No one's gonna understand this. Where am I gonna go? Who, can I talk to?
Right. And often maybe you've gotten enough nerve to actually talk to someone, or, find some help. But a lot of times, the person that you're with is so controlling. You are watched. Your phone is checked. You're followed. There's just crazy things going on, right? Where you have no privacy, you have nothing, and you can't ask for help, or you can't go and get help. I mean, I remember once uh going over to my sister's house, and I stopped. It was before cell phones, and I stopped to use the payphone at like a Safeway grocery store. I stopped and called my sister to say, "Hey, are you home? We're coming over."
Yeah.
And when I got home, he said, "Who did you call?"
What?
And I said, "What do you mean, who did I call?" He said, "Who did you call when you stopped at the store and used the phone?"
Oh my gosh.
Because he was following me.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Uh,
Oh,
yeah. So,
somebody needed a hobby.
yeah, it was wild. So one of the other things that we do at She's Me is we help women open studios, and studios are places where you can, you know, have meetings, or have classes, or just have, community. Each studio has a computer, see, and nobody can get to it, and you could actually use it if you need help. So,
Oh my gosh, so physical studios,
physical
not like
studios, right?
wow.
Yeah.
And okay, is it all this information of all these things that you offer on the She Is Me website?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
SheIsMeConference.com?
yeah, you can go to the conference website, or you can go to Global, She's Me Global. But everything's on both places. Depends
Interchangeable.
on what your focus is. The global website's really about leadership and using your voice to inspire others. So we do things like we publishing a magazine, and we have anthology books that we publish now with women's stories, and we have a healthcare clinic, and we have um stages with speaks, and we do retreats, and we can actually teach you how to be a retreat facilitator if you want to help other women that way. So there's a lot going on. We have our conference every year in October, mostly because it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and
Yes.
this is kind of how we started.
Yeah.
But we also have monthly summits where you can record your we have different themes every month, and you can record your session, and then we bundle it as a summit, and people could come and you know if you're interested in living a creative life, or if you're living with cancer and just need some inspiration, or we have a pride event. We have all kinds of things going on. So,
Oh
uh,
my god, it sounds like a plethora, like a whole world of
we're
She Is Me.
it's a whole
I love
we
it.
call it an ecosystem. It's a whole ecosystem now,
Yes.
because we never, ever, ever want to know that a woman was silenced,
Yeah.
right?
Mm,
Want to make sure that you're heard,
yes.
whether it's using your voice and standing up in front of people, or writing an article, or writing your story in a chapter that we can publish and somebody might be inspired. So we want to make sure that if you want to inspire other women and lead, that we're here to help you get there.
I am gonna be scouring that website.
So we're doing a new launch. The new website will be up. So by the time this airs, you'll be able to see every all the new stuff that's going on. But yeah,
Awesome.
it's exciting.
It's so exciting. How are you managing to make this expand this and grow this like you're doing?
You know, it's just one of those things, like, I get an idea and then I just move on it, I just try it and see if it works, and if it doesn't, I go, "Oh, well, let's try something else," and, it was the same way with this when I first came up with the idea, like, "Why don't I just do it myself?" I mean, within a day or 2, I had a logo, I registered my business, I built a website. I just am one of those people who kind of just takes action
Yes.
when I'm inspired to. And so it was, why don't I just do it myself? I know I've done it 100 times for companies that I worked with.
Right.
Um
I'm sorry, I just want to back up for 1 second. I did read that you were in the corporate world,
I was, yeah.
right? Yeah. So what could you share what you did? Because then that will I think that will help us do the connection.
Yeah. So, well, I started out as a aerospace engineer, but then,
An aerospace engineer?
yeah, and then
You don't hear that every day.
I know, right?
Wait, I'm
Um,
sorry, I gotta ask you, what's an aerospace engineer do specifically?
well, at the time when I got out of school, I did ergonomic cockpits. I did like ergonomic cockpits, yeah. Um,
Love it.
and then I went to work for a company that was a civilian contractor at an Air Force base, and did like guidance system schematics and stuff like that. It was
Incredible.
it was a short-lived career because the money dropped out of aerospace right after I
Mm,
kind of graduated from college, so good thing I did that.
yeah.
But, then I went into technology. I was already in technology, but I went into
Right.
technology, and then moved into software, and, you
Okay.
know, did that, and then became, like, product manager, worked in marketing, worked in, a lot of different things, and I've worked for Cisco and Microsoft and, some of
Wow.
the other big companies, um
Incredible.
but all the time, I was always, running a group or division or something where we would have to put on events because we had a product, and the product had to get out there, and we had to
Mm,
show up at a trade show, or we had to do online webinars for lead generation, or that kind of stuff. So I spent a very long time in
yeah, that's great training ground.
train brown. So
Yeah.
that's why I didn't just not have any experience and wake up and decide I was going to do it. I mean, it
Yeah.
was it was one of those things that people kept saying, like, you have all the skills you need to get
Yeah.
this going. So why don't you just do it? Um Whatever it is, like, you have skills, you have
Yes.
experience, you have something. So how can
Yeah.
how can you use that? And I would be like, I don't know. I don't know how I could use that outside of what I'm doing right now. I have no idea. And I never really put 2 and 2 together. I knew I wanted to tell my story, and I never thought of marrying it with my experience of the corporate world, until I woke up that one morning and thought, "Huh, why don't I just do it myself?"
Oh
Like,
my god, it just, like, hit you and you saw, like, all the dots connect and you were like, "I see how that I can do this and I can make this
yeah,
happen."
because I'd done it so many times
My gosh.
for a product or a service, or, wherever I worked. I had done all these online events and lead generation and marketing and everything else. I'd done it for years and years and years and years. Um And so I was like, oh,
Spark.
yeah,
The
spark.
spark.
Well, that was it for part 2 with Lisa Jimenez. Stay tuned for part 3 while we continue this incredible conversation about empowering and celebrating and raising up women. Because come on, it's time. It's a good one, so I'll see you there. To check out SheIsMe Global, go to SheIsMeGlobal.com. Anyways, as always, this has been the Spiritual Shit Show podcast. My name is Suzanne, y'all, and I would like to thank your stunning face for listening, and I'll see you on the next one. Roll it, you beautiful, divine darling, you.